Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Crystal Flaffy, and today we're going to be talking about Onmyoji. Onmyoji is a personal favorite of mine, and she's also very good. She's some elements can be considered like top tier, I'd say. So let's just jump right into it, okay? We'll start with fire as always, and the thing I love about talking about Nat 5s is we don't have to scroll down. It's so good. It's so quick to find them. Anyway, so here's the Evo 1. Very cute. The Evo 2. Also very cute. And Evo 3. Fucking gorgeous, man. Okay, so there's the regular, and here we have the variant. I like the variant. Cool thing about her, though, is I love the paper. Like, she's pretty much MSL's version of, what is it, Conan? Is that the girl's name from Naruto? So yeah, she has that cool paper shit she does, but hers is, Onmyoji's a lot cooler than Conan, but yeah. Anyway, looking at the stats, she is a tank. She has pretty low HP, actually, for a Nat 5 tank. But her attack and defense are a lot higher than normal. So, it's alright. So, it's still good. Looking at her skills, she has... So, first off, the leader skill, it's resist up. So, 20 to 25%, all content. I think it used to be league specific, but they changed it. But I could be wrong about that. Her 3-star, though, it is SP Siphon, 30%. Skill books make it 40% and give a 20% damage boost. Then on 5-star, she has Defense Down, 80% 2 turns. And skill books just give a 25% damage boost there. There's 2 places you'd want to use her. So first off, she's amazing for Wood Colossus. She's a Firemon, and she has that elemental... because she's a Firemon, she does have the elemental advantage in that dungeon. But then also, she's very good to SP Siphon the healer to prevent the attack up. So, she's perfect for that role. Then the other place is PvP. She is a very high tier PvP Mon. You'll see her quite often once you get to higher up, you'll see Evo 3 Fire Onmyoji very often. Not so much as we used to since Draka was introduced, because now Water Mons on the fence is more of the meta. But we still see Fire Onmyoji quite a bit, and for good reason. Her skills plus her solid stats make her a very good Mon for your defense team. Being able to SP Siphon, preventing the opponent from getting their actives, is really, really good. And the defense down is helpful because you don't normally put high damage mons on your defense team, so the defense down on AoE is pretty helpful. This is also a mon that we see quite often on Pugilist, however you pronounce it, just because with her SP Siphon she's able to get her bar full very quickly and then just spread those AoE stuns around. So, there's also that. How I would build her, you can go multiple ways with this. So, tanky HP defense is one way, and it's probably the way that you'll see more often. Another way, HP defense, where you just take advantage of her higher than normal defense stat. And this is very good if you do pair her with a passive healer, like Water Persephone, Fire Sanzang, something like that, just because they heal based on their own amount of HP. So if her HP is lower and her defense is higher, she'll be healing more than... she'll be healing a higher percentage of her maximum HP if she has a lower HP stat but a higher defense. Another interesting one that I haven't seen people use, but is interesting to me, is a Bruiser build, just to take advantage of her decently high attack and let her have a bit of damage. She'll still be very bulky, if you have her with an HP, just one HP gem and one defense gem and then trinkets, she'll still be very bulky. But without any sort of attack investment, she's not going to have any offensive presence. So I think an attack gem would be pretty good. Keep in mind, this is really only something that I would suggest trying. I don't know how viable it would be. And also, I think if you have her on Pugilist, then you don't really need to do this, because the Pugilist stun chance provides enough offensive presence already. But if you don't have Pugilist, I think a sneaky bruiser build would be pretty nice. Just to do a quick calculation of what her attack would be with just one attack gem, it would be over 4,200. So 4.2k. So that's pretty damn good, considering she's a tanky mon. So it is something that you can experiment with. It's definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. But anyway, let's move on to water. Here we have the regular. And here's the variant. I love the variant. I really do. I'm so sad mine is not a variant. Which I do only have water at Evo 3 right now. I do have fire and wood that I'm going to be working on, though I haven't actually gemmed them or built them up yet. But anyway, let's look at her stats. She's an attacker. Her attack is alright. It's pretty low when we compare to most other top tier, like, Nat 5 attackers, but she makes up for it with a really high HP stat. And her defense stat is pretty low, though, which is unfortunate. It'd be nice if she got a little bit of a defense buff. But overall, her stats are alright, because you do want her to just be nuking things. And there's a reason her attack is so low, which we'll get into when we look at her skills, which, as you can see, 3-star and 5-star are both Hunter for 50%, which is why her attack is a bit low, because she has a very high damage multiplier on her skills. And skill books give a 30% boost for both of those. So, where you use her. She's very versatile. She's probably the most... dark might be a bit more versatile, but water is the second most versatile, I guess, out of the Onmyoji. So, you can use her for PvP. I definitely would recommend offense rather than defense. You can use her as for farming, though keep in mind her animation speed for her 5-star is rather slow. So it's not ideal. There are better mons just for speed farming than she is. But in terms of damage, she's more than capable of it. You can use it for DB9, which I believe I use mine there. And she's very, very helpful there. Just her damage is amazing. And I can 100% auto that floor, and it's partly thanks to her. Also GB8, you can use her there, but again, not very necessary, just because GB8 is one of the easier, well, it is the easiest of the higher level golem dungeons at the point of releasing this video. I know later this year there's going to be GB11 and 12, but this is before those were released, so until then, I'm considering GB8 one of the higher levels, which it's very easy, so you don't really need Onmyoji. You can just go in there with some Monas and you're good. So Onmyoji might be a bit overkill there. You can also use her for Fire Colossus. I use mine there just as a water nuker. She's very, very strong there. Just with her, you don't have to worry about her 5-star, because you'll most likely be killing the Colossus before she even gets her 5-star. It's just her 3-star is just going to be doing a lot of damage. And then also you can use her in Titans just as a general water damage dealer early game before you get better CS mons. Where I use my own Onmyoji the most, though, is PvP. She's pretty much a staple on my offense team. You can build her multiple ways. Mine is built crit rate attack HP, I believe. But you can also go more glass cannon, like crit rate attack, crit rate attack, crit damage, something like that. Keep in mind, she's crit required for her skills, so she does need that crit rate gem. I did gem mine before trinkets were a thing, which is why I have the HP gem on mine. I will eventually get around to switching it out for a different gem, for another attack gem or a crit damage gem, because I don't remember if it was the triangle slot that was a HP gem. But if it was, I will switch it out for a crit damage gem. I have mine on a, what is it called? A Zeal set? Is that the one that's crit rate and attack? But anyway, I'll speak more on the way mine is gemmed when I showcase her after we go through all 5 of them. But anyway, you want to build her with crit rate and build her offensively. That's what you want to do, so you can get as much damage out of her as possible. Anyway, here we have Wood, which I just love her design overall, like the Onmyojis, all the Onmyoji. Here's the variant. I think I like the variant more. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the variant. So, she is a defender. She has a really good defense stat, and her HP is alright as well. It'd be nice if it was like 1k higher, just to get over that 30k mark. And her attack is decent. But you're not going to be expecting much damage out of her anyway, so it's alright. Looking at her skills, she has Seal, 100% 2 turns on her 3-star, and skill books give a 30% damage boost. On 5-star, she has Petrification, 80% 1 turn. Skill books make it 100% and give a 15% damage boost. So, real quick, I do want to say, I really hate seeing a lot of these mons that have 100% 2-turn Seal on their 3-star. Just because, if we look, which we'll go back to Onmyoji in a second, one of the first mons to have a strong Seal on their 3-star is Nightmare, and it is 100% 3 turns. So, everything else that has Seal in comparison is already at a disadvantage, because they start off with 1 turn less. I really think that Wood Onmyoji, and I think Fire Garuda as well might be the other one. Just off the top of my head. They should have 100% 3-turn seals on their 3-stars. She really needs a buff on that. But besides that, just the 100% 2-turn seal on its own is pretty good, because you will be wanting to put her on your PvP defense team. Keep in mind though, Draka is a thing, so while it's not meta to have Woodmons on defense, if you really want to use her, that's where you put her. But yeah, attack teams don't have high resist usually, so there's a strong chance that her seal will be landing, and 2 turns for your opponent to not have their use of their skills is very good. Then also her Petrification being 100% after books. Well, keep in mind, Nat 5 books are very hard to come by, and I don't know if Wood Onmyoji would be your priority of the Onmyoji to skill book up. But if you did, that 100% CC on 5-star is very good. It is 1 turn, which is fine, because her animation speed is very slow, so her 5-star will most likely go off after the rest of your team is already hit, so that defense buff that being petrified gives won't really matter too much. So that's a good benefit there. If it were 2 turns, then that'd be a different story, but it is only 1, which is fine because it is at least 100% AoE. And yeah, how I would gem, HP defense would probably be the best way to make her as tanky as possible. Then you can go HP defense as an alternative if you don't have like a second good HP gem or whatever. And this one, you can potentially do like a sneaky bruiser build for her as well. Like, while going through the Onmyoji and for the mon that I'm going to be covering in the next video, I have been thinking a little bit more about sneaky offensive builds, not necessarily offensive builds, but bruiser builds for defense mons, just so they can have a bit more of an offensive presence. Because keep in mind, without any sort of attack investment, Wood Onmyoji is not going to have any offensive presence, unless of course she's on Pugilist, so, which she is a pretty good candidate for that. So she might not have a way to boost her Gauge. Sorry, I had to pause for a minute. Someone was at the door, and the dog was going crazy. So, anyway, I was saying Wood Onmyoji doesn't have a way to fill her SP bar with her 3-star the way Fire does. So, Pugilist, while still good for her, isn't as strong on her, because it'll be less often for her to get her AoE. But anyway, let's move on to Light. So, here's the regular. and the variant I infinitely love more. I'm not a huge fan of the yellowish colors that most light mons are, so, but I love the silvery colors that we get from the variants, which is very cool. So looking at her stats, she's a defender, and her defense is very high. Her HP is actually rather low, now that I look at it, compared to other defenders that we see. Even among Nat 4 defenders, their HP is pretty low. Her attack, though, is very high. So that's another thing there, which we'll get into her builds when we get to that soon. So, on her 3-star, you can see she has SP Siphon, 30%, same as Fire. Keep in mind, I don't have access to light or dark Onmyoji, so I don't know their skill book values, but I can only assume that light will get that. Did I mention Fire's SP Siphon gets increased to 40% with books? I don't remember if I did, but if I forgot, that happens. And I can only assume that light gets the same increase. If not, I apologize. It's just an assumption. I don't know what her books are. Anyway, on 5-star, she has Shock, 70% 2 turns. Again, I don't know her skill book value, so hard to say whether or not it'd be increased, because 70% 2 turns on AoE Shock is very high. Skill books can potentially make it higher, though, of course. But I don't know. Either way, even without skill books, her skills are still very strong. And it just shows that she can be used in the same places that Fire is. Though keep in mind, if you do use her against the Wood Colossus, she doesn't have elemental advantage there. But it doesn't really matter, because the Wood Colossus doesn't do too much damage anyway without the attack up, and then you're not going to be expecting your SP Siphon Mon to be doing too much damage against the Colossus anyway. So there's that. You can also use her in Tower of Chaos, though, just because her having a CC on her 5-star does make her pretty viable for that, for floors 80 and 100. For floor 80, it'd be very nice, because that Odin there does have Battle Rush, so keeping the Odin from getting off her 5-star could be nice, you know, if you're using a pretty low defense team, you know, because that 5-star can lower your defense and then do a lot of damage on the next turn, so there's that. And then the 2-turn CC is pretty good, though it's not as reliable as a Mon that would have a CC on their 3-star. And the same can be said against floor 100 as well. The main place you want to use her, though, is for PvP, mostly for defense. Keep in mind, for Fire Onmyoji and Light Onmyoji, they can be used on offense as well. Like, I know there are people that like to use the slower, more reliable, well, I don't know about more reliable, but the slower, tankier offense teams, and Fire Onmyoji and Light Onmyoji are both very good for that, so that's another thing you can keep in mind. Personally, I prefer just use them for defense and use attackers like for offense, so there's that. How I would build her, same way I would build Fire, HP, HP, defense, HP, defense, defense. With her, between the two, I would lean towards HP, HP, defense, just because she can use that extra HP investment. She doesn't need that much defensive investment. And then also you can go with a sneaky bruiser build for her as well, just to give her more of an offensive presence, though keep in mind she doesn't need it as much as Fire does, just because even without Pugilist, she does have that Shock, which is a very threatening skill, which defense down, while good, isn't nearly as threatening as Shock. So Light Onmyoji doesn't need the bruiser build, or doesn't need any offensive investment in comparison to Fire. But yeah, there isn't really much else to say about her other than she is my second most coveted Mon in the game. I really want her so bad. Like, the day, please, RNG gods, do me a solid. Anyway, here is Dark Onmyoji. There's the regular and the variant, and both of them are so cool. I hate a lot of these Dark Mons because they make picking the color scheme that I like more so difficult, because they're usually so good. Either they've got the nice purples that we see here with the regular, and you know I love my purple, or they have like these cool dark blacks with reds and whites, and it's a difficult world that I live in, you know. I can't decide. I'm gonna go with regular just because of the hair. Okay? Because she is one of my waifus. So I have to go with the hair. Looking at the stats, she is an attacker. And her attack is really fucking high. Sorry, there's a knock on my door again. Anyway. So, see her attack? It is really, really high, as I just said. One of the highest in the game. Very few mons we see have a over 4k attack stat. Very few mons we see have a stat over 4k, period. I don't even know if we have any defenders that have defense over 4k off the top of my head. So yeah, it's a really, really high stat. Her HP is alright, and her defense is alright as well. They're nothing special, but they're not bad either, so pretty middle of the road. It's just that attack stat is just so strong. And being a Dark Mon, having that base 100 crit damage, it is so good. So, looking at her skills, she has HP Siphon on 3-star. It's just regular HP Siphon for herself. And then on 5-star, she has HP Siphon, but it is a greatly restores, and it's for allies. So, very strong skill there. Where you'd want to use her. So, just being an attacker, a dark attacker, you can use her in a lot of places. You can use her for farming. But again, same with water. Keep in mind her animation speed for a 5-star is very slow. But being able to heal the team with it does make her a very reliable mon for it. Which leads me to GB10, which we know that Light Snowy is a very good mon there, just because of being able to heal the team with its 5-star and do a lot of damage. Very good wave clearer, and the same can be said about Onmyoji, though keep in mind she doesn't have elemental advantage on her attacks. But she also doesn't have elemental disadvantage on being attacked. So, overall, a very good mon for that. Also, you can use it for DB10 for the same reasons. Just keeping herself alive, doing a lot of damage, and then also keeping the team alive when she does get her bar full. So, that's another thing. Though, I would definitely put trinkets on her if I use her there. Or if you were to use her there, just because she will be taking a lot of damage. Because her defensive stats overall at base aren't all that high, so trinkets would definitely be very, very essential for that. Other places, Light Colossus, just being a dark attacker and being able to keep herself alive is also very good. Then also for Dark Colossus, which having HP Siphon does match the gimmick of the Dark Colossus of not allowing you to heal by getting your bars full and using healers. Just keeping herself alive, and then, if you do have decent resist on her and she gets her bar full, you can heal the team as well. So there's that. Where else? And then of course you can use her for PvP offense. I love using HP Siphon mons, especially in PvP. I use my Fire Succubus for that reason, and Dark Onmyoji is just another great mon for that. How I would build her. You can build her any way offensively. She's not a crit required mon, so she doesn't need a crit rate gem. But being a Dark Mon with a base 100 crit damage, you're going to want to gem her with crit rate. So, most likely, crit rate attack, crit rate attack, crit damage, something like that. You can have a survivability gem. If you do, use a defense one. Using an HP one just makes it harder to heal her max HP. But personally, I would just go HP attack, crit rate attack, or crit rate attack, crit damage, and just get my defense and HP from trinkets. But yeah. That's going to be it for all those Onmyojis. Real quick, I do want to show the water one that I have. She was one of the one of the first Evo 3 Nat 5s that I have. I don't remember if it was between her or Fire Indra. It was one of the two of them. But anyway, here she is. I do have 2 skill books on her, because I have been lucky to get them. Because, she's the only one that I had built at the time that I don't remember how I got the books, but she's the only one that I had built at the time. And even so, I use her a lot. So even if I do get the other ones, I'll still be finishing off her books. But anyway, here I have her on crit rate, which it is Zeal set. Okay, I was right. Attack, HP, which does have a lot of crit rate and attack, but this gem I would probably swap out for an attack or crit rate gem. Sorry, crit damage gem. Just to give her a bit more offense, because I do have trinkets on her. And here's an attack gem with very low crit rate, but that's fine because the HP one does have a lot, and the Zeal set bonus does bring her over to over 100%. And I do have max level trinkets, though they are only 4-star. So I do need to boost those up to 6 stars whenever I can. Here's her final stats. You can see her attack is pretty good, considering it only has 1 attack gem. It'd be nice if... it'd be interesting to see how high her attack would go if I put on a second gem. I'm curious as to whether it'd go over to 10k, which would be very, very, very cool. Her HP is actually very strong as well, and her defense is alright. Let's see, anything else that I should say? So here's the fire one that I have. I'm working on her, you know. I just got her to 60. Now I'm working on getting her gleaned up, and then I'll worry about gems later. Just got a HP gem on there, nothing special. And over here I have wood, same thing, just no gem at all, and I still haven't gotten her to 60, but I will very soon. So that's it for all the Onmyojis. How I'd prioritize them. Assuming I had them all, perfect world, I'd go light, fire, dark, water, wood. Light is ahead, just because it's pretty much a stronger version of fire. Fire is indeed really good. Sorry, interrupted. So fire is where it is because it is a top tier PvP mon. Then dark is slightly above water just because it is more versatile, in my opinion. And then wood is last because, while good, it's just not as threatening as the other mons that are more for defense. It's not as threatening as fire or light. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all that. Have yourselves a good day, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.